live. Hello and welcome to the post-match Real United talk for Manchester United versus Bournemouth. Hi, I'm Mark. How are we doing? I hope I've set it all up all right. Straight away, Mark says, "All right, mate, what do you think of De Gea? I don't recall him making a save, but he picked the ball out of the back of his net 4 times. I'm wavering on my support for him at the Mo." And Max says, "Hi, everyone. Hello. How are we doing?" Right, Pancard. Ollie is the next. That's a big statement, mate. Big statement. We're going to highlight that one straight away. We're going to have some funny straight away. Look, and Pancard. There we go. Ollie is the next Sir Alex. Right. So there we go. I have to say, that is the most impressive game overall I've seen from United since lockdown. Hi, Red Devil. You're right. I was worried. I've got to say, I was worried. I was talking to a mate last night, and I said to him, I think Bournemouth would. Can't stop the truck. I said to Bournemouth would create a few problems. Their relegation threatened. I didn't think they'd sit back. I thought they would come out and have a go because they got nothing ready to lose. So I was quite stunned. I was took back when they got the opening goal. I think, again, it was the similar sort of situation to the Norwich to Cantwell goal. Matic could have closed the ball down a bit quicker out on the left hand side. Maguire, do you get nutmegged like that? I suppose it can happen to anyone, but David De Gea just leaving too much space at his near post for me. So I mean, it was comfortable performance overall. I think every single goal that United scored, barring the penalty, was absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I thought Anthony Martial's goal from the left-hand side, one touch, get it out of his feet, and then inch perfect into the top right-hand corner. Absolutely amazing. But star of the show for me is this young lad, Mason Greenwood. I think this lad is absolutely on a different planet for such a young age. He's got so much. He's got the world at his feet, and he's not letting him get to him at all. His second goal, I thought his first goal was absolutely, blinding. But his second goal, I thought he was running down a blind alley out on that right hand side, and then all of a sudden he just fucking bang, and I was like, whoa, that second goal made me take some serious notice of him. Casper says Maguire's slow as fuck. You could outrun it, mate. I probably could do. Red Devil says we need. Oh, I missed that. Hang on, let me go back. Got to get Red's comment in. Where is it? Red says we need a centre back partner for Maguire. In my opinion, quick one and Lindelof Bay is not the answer. I don't think. B Hut, how are we doing? Welcome. Not seen you before. Hope you enjoy it. Jessica says it was an excellent game. George Carl says Greenwood is sensational. George, mate, he is another planet. And I've got to say this: if he's going to stay out on that right hand side, I don't think Jadon Sancho is going to be happy with sitting on the bench, because how can you drop this kid? Seriously, how can you drop him? Wayne Rooney was playing week in, week out at his age. You look at the class of, the 92 class, how young they were when they started to come through. For me, the emergence of this kid, George says Sancho still needed. I think the emergence of Greenwood is going to put some doubt on the Sancho deal. And Pancard says there, how can you drop Greenwood? I don't think you can. I was so impressed with the movement of that front three today. B Hut says Sancho is still needed. It's up for debate, isn't it? It is up for debate. It's Sancho and Grealish. I do think we need someone in the centre midfield. I do agree we need a right winger, but I don't think with Mason's form and the emergence of Mason, I don't think he's going to go after a right winger that's going to want first team football every single game, because I don't think you can drop Mason at all. I think Mason, Rashford, um, and Martial as the front three. I think that's probably as exciting a forward line as Manchester United have had in many, many years. Um, instead of Pereira and Mata, Greenwood moves to number 9 and put Martial on the bench. Instead of Pereira, Mata and Rashi. Nilanjan Pandit, welcome. Hope you enjoy the show. He says Pogba needs some goals to boost his confidence. He's not at his best. Do you know what? I mean, I was quite impressed with what Pogba did today. I've got to say, he was very quiet, but he did the simple things right. For that position he's playing. He's playing as a more deeper line midfielder. But I want to pick up a point that Rodney said at half time. Is Bruno Fernandes now the most important player of this team? And after today, I've got to say, I think Bruno Fernandes is obviously the first name on the team sheet for me. I think if you drop him, you look at where the creativity is going to come from. You think possibly Pogba in that role. Max says, yeah. George Carl says Pogba was great as usual. George, you put Rashford on the bench, mate. No chance. Absolutely no chance. Not for me. I think Rashford's got to start. I think Martial's got to start. And I think Greenwood's got to start. All three of them. Most important players are three players: Bruno, Pogba, and Matic. I thought Matic was really good today. A couple of lazy passes. We sort of started. I thought we started the second half very similar. No, I meant with Sancho. Oh, right. Oh, okay. I thought we started the second half very similar to how we started the first half. We were slow getting out of the blocks. We allowed Bournemouth to come into it. Panko says Mike Dean is a prick. I like his beard. I did like his beard today. Very established looking. Mark says he played Lingard and Pereira over Fernandes. I said Rashford on the bench when Sanchez signs, possibly. But I still wouldn't do that, George. I still wouldn't do that. I really wouldn't. I don't think you can put one of England's main centre forwards. I don't think you can put him on the bench. I think he brings so much to that team with his pace, his creativity, his drive. He's got some trickery, but he scores some absolutely phenomenal stuff. I mean, apart from the penalty today, I thought every single goal was absolutely phenomenal, top quality, really did. And I was thoroughly impressed with how, not only when we went 1-0 down at the start of the first half, but how United kept on going right up to the last seconds of the game. We were still pushing for more goals. And I think, that's got to be credit to Ollie. That's got to be credit to Ollie. Whatever he said at half time, we came out 3-1, went to 3-2, and you thought all danger signs were there. Can Bournemouth get back into it? And I was worried. And then, all of a sudden, United just stepped up another gear, go through the motions again. They didn't panic. They looked quite composed. They looked quite confident about themselves. And they went about their business. And effectively, they brushed them aside. But fantastic. I mean, it's 16. I think it's 16 now, unbeaten in all competitions. Red Devil says Aaron Wan-Bissaka looking great going forward again. Would have had that another assist for Rashford. And you know what? I want to mention someone in particular as well. Luke Shaw. Not only Wan-Bissaka going forward, but Luke Shaw hitting the post twice in one match. I think that's unheard of. I think for for Luke Shaw, which just goes to show how far forward he was getting. And it's great to see, but I do worry, and I do worry about injuries because, like I've said before, if Bruno gets injured, You know, if Maguire gets injured, yeah, we can rest these players, but we don't want 3, 4, 5 injuries at once. Can't afford that at all. We're on such a good run at the minute. They look absolutely unstoppable. What's all this? Right. I want to put that out of there. So that's no business here. Sure, 0 out of 10. I have unconscious bias otherwise. What do you mean, Max? What do you mean by that? I'm not understanding that. Sure, 0 out of 10. I have unconscious bias otherwise. Elaborate on that, Maxie. I'm not quite getting that. But yeah, I thought overall for the 95 minutes, I thought it was absolutely fantastic football. I loved the triangles that were being played between Matic, Pogba, and Bruno. I was a bit shaky, bit worried with Lindelof again as a centre back, but Bay, I'm a big fan of Bay, but they weren't really tested in the second half. The penalty that was given by the letter of the law, it has to be given. So yeah, I think overall I was quite impressed with it. I was quite impressed with it. Oh right, okay. So I'm doing. Matthew Crichton, welcome. It's something to do with leaving. Okay, right. As soon as it's being mentioned, isn't it? I've got to say, I think that's probably one of the best decisions he's ever done, to be honest. But 5 wins needed. So what's that, Cardi? 5 wins to make sure we get top 4, then, is it? Because what we're 4th now. Chelsea play Watford, don't they? Is it 5:30? They kick off. 5 or 6. No, I haven't seen the video, George. No. But yeah, I think absolutely amazing, and I can't emphasise enough how pleased I am about it. Even the way we went about the business, I think United are the form team for after the lockdown. I mean, we were in form going into the lockdown, and I thought we'd come out of it, a bit rusty and that, but we get there eventually. But I think the games that we played, especially today, I was really glad that Bournemouth put up a test. I really was, because it will help the energy levels of the players as well. So absolutely fantastic. B Hut says, as for me at the back, we need Koulibaly so that our defence become the strongest. How much would Koulibaly go for now? I mean, what's the price bracket for him? I'll be interested to note that, what the price is for him. Mark says Watford's at 8. Oh, okay, all right. It would be hard to get Koulibaly and Sancho. I think that's an awful lot of money in it, both about 100 million. Yeah, I don't see. I mean, United representatives already said, didn't they, the other day, they're not paying over 50 million for Sancho. So they've confirmed their interest, but they're not going to pay that sort of money, which makes me think, I don't think they'll do it. I really don't. I would probably. I mean, if you look at it in the long run, maybe the lad from Wolves, Traore, maybe might be able to get him. Send Lingard the other way. What the other options, leaving aside Koulibaly, says Nilajan Pandit. I hope I said your name right. If not, I apologise. So, comments, guys. What are the options then for Koulibaly? Well, Skriniar mentioned couple seasons back. Ruben Diaz, Nathan, Aki look good, says Max. Wouldn't Chelsea have a buyback on Aki, though? Not too sure. Villa, Southampton, Leicester, West Ham, and Palace left. George, I think they're all winnable. I don't see any problems there. Maybe Leicester, but the way Leicester are playing at the minute, I was watching the highlights during the game against Crystal Palace. They don't look. Yeah, it's correct. Oh, good. Well done. As long as I said it right, that's the main thing. Aki's Chelsea product. We don't need any product from Chelsea. Mengi's coming through as centre backs. George, Max, Skriniar cost about 90 million. Mark Afton, I get Leon Bailey for 4. Now, there's an interesting mark. Leon Bailey, great player. Great player. I'm a big fan of him. I don't watch an awful lot of, how can I say it, European football. But I do like him. I do like him. Phil Jones is good enough, said Max. I mean, that's another thing as well. You know, don't forget, we still got Twan Seaby to come back as well. You know, we got Fosu Mensah as well. I mean, where do you guys see these players fit us in? I mean, obviously Twan Seaby is a centre back, but I mean, Fosu Mensah, is he a right back? Is he a CDM? You know, where do you go? Where do you go with him? Max says Upper Meccano. I said that right as well. Never heard of him, Max. I've got to say, never heard of him. I prefer Depay and Bay. Again, Depay, we've still got a buyback clause on him, if I'm not mistaken. Would you want to come back? I mean, 40, 50 million. Kinshuk Chopra, welcome. Hope you have a good time in here. United have a good team, but need a good squad. I think that's great. I think that's a great comment. I'm going to show that one. Yeah, I think United do. They have the first 11, maybe 13 players. I think are great. They are a good squad. It's a competitive squad, but it's the backup players that are a problem. So, yeah, I think you're spot on there, mate. Absolutely spot on. The second goal we conceded was a comedy of errors. Do you know what, George? I don't see why Matic is playing that ball. It's only 10 yards, if that. I don't see why he's playing that so high. He could have quite easily played that long before. He put Bailly in trouble there. Fosu Mensah can play right back, centre back, left back, CM, says Max. Casper says, big question, is Ollie back at the wheel? I think he is. Do you know what? Again, probably a bit of a statement, but at the minute, I can't see anyone else managing United, the way United are playing at the minute, the way Solskjaer's got them drilled, I couldn't imagine a Pochettino or who else is, an Nagelsmann or whoever, these players, managers are. I can't see anyone else being sat in that dugout apart from Ollie. George says still needs 6 players. Yeah, I think that's probably about right. Yeah, I think it's probably to make this challenge for top honours. Yeah, definitely a good 6 players, mate. I'll bring back Phil Neville, shore up the midfield, said Mark. Twanzebe and Bay are unreliable because of injuries. Lindelof has a mistake in him. Jones is crap. Rojo and Smalling not good enough. Well, I mean, you take into account there, Max, right? I mean, Rojo and Smalling, you're probably, they're going to be off the books, aren't they? Hopefully in the summer. Phil Jones he gets injured walking out onto the training pitch, and like you said, Bailly and Twanzebe don't have good injury records, so we may possibly be in for another centre back. Don't know, but looking at that, you'd think we would do. Nilajan Pandit says, I think many players would love to get associated with United once we get that Champions League spot. Again, another great comment. United get into the Champions League again, the money starts flowing, doesn't it? The money starts coming back in again. I think, doesn't the Adidas deal go back to normal? So, again, it's, a lot of people are Champions League or nothing, For me, I think the size of a club of United, as long as I see progress, as long as I see a direction, I'm quite patient. So hopefully we end up there and the money comes back in. George says, since the lockdown finished, we've been sensational. Totally agree, George. Totally agree. We're going to highlight that one as well. I think we're the form side, aren't we? No doubt about it. We are the form side going into this. And, you look at the games we have left. We got a favourable 5 games left. Only trouble I see is Leicester, possibly. But we can beat them. Casper says, do you think Pogba will stay? Paper says he signed a new contract. Thoughts? I think if that's true, that he signed a new contract, I think they'll wait until the end of the season to announce that. So if we don't make Champions League, they'll announce that Pogba signed a new contract purely to say that we can get people to sign. We can get these top players to sign without Champions League football. So I don't think that's going to be announced anytime yet. And do you know what? I think the way he's playing with Bruno and Matic gives me hope. It really does. I think his best performances so far since lockdown. I know he's been out a lot this season, but since lockdown, since he's come back in with Bruno and Matic, I think I think he's really improved. Could you drop Rashford for Sancho if Rashford is not in full form? If we sign Sancho, says Pankaj, you could do, but you'd make that argument with any front three, wouldn't you? I mean, if they're not in form, you you'd have to drop him for it. Bruno needs his brother Ramos from Sporting to join the Reds this summer. Is it reliable? Says B Hut. I don't know. I've not heard anything about that whatsoever. Matthew Crichton says, "Isn't the Adidas deal nearly up?" I think there'll probably be a new sponsorship for it, Matthew. I think with a few more clauses than what they have last time. Third is there for the taking, says George. Upamecano plays for RB Leipzig. He's a good centre back. Okay, mate. I'll have a look at that. Mark says someone's calling. You want some real fan opinion? Well, I like that one as well. I find that funny. That's good. And Nilajam Pandit says, "You think Greenwood should be given a central forward position to play with in some games from now on?" No. I think Mason Greenwood out on that right hand side is absolutely great, and Martial out on that left hand side today for the goal, I thought was absolutely phenomenal. I really do. I think he's much better. It's really strange because I think Martial's better at the left. He's better at the left hand side than Rashford, and I think Rashford's better central than what Martial is. So for me, it would be Mason right, Martial left, and Rashford through the middle. But then George says here, never change a winning formula, which is true. So where do we go? I mean, if it's working, the only thing I worry about, as I said before, is injuries. That's the only thing that bothers me. Casper says, "Can I just say Bruno's stamina is unbelievable? He plays like every minute, always running and giving 100%." And yeah, I'm going to highlight that one as well because I think that's true as well. He played, what was it, 120? He's played every game so far since lockdown. The 120 minutes against Norwich. What can you say about it? He just doesn't want to be taken off. He enjoys his football. He loves his football. He's a real commanding presence in that central midfield area. So I think it's fantastic. Will I watch the Wolves game, says Pankaj? Probably not, mate. Probably not. B Hut says the only changes to make next match is Bailly for Victor. Yeah, let's stick that one up then. I mean, get in the comments then, people. Is B Hut right? Do you think Bailly starts the next match for Lindelof? Or do you keep it the same? Let's have a look, see what people say. What's Max said here? Martial's better up front. He's good at scoring chances. Rashford is better on the wing, I think. So yeah, I mean, this is the thing, Max, isn't it? It's it's all about the opinion. I mean, I don't know. For me, that goal from Martial today just proved to me that I just think he's so much better running at people than what he is with his back to goal and trying to hold the ball up and bring people into play. I don't know. I think Rashford can do that. He's not very good at holding the ball up, but I just think Rashford has a bit more skill and trickery to him to beat one or two men than what Martial does. And I think with Martial out on the left, what he does better than Rashford is Martial's not afraid to go with his left foot either. He's not afraid to go at the byline and get the ball in. Whereas I think Rashford is. Rashford's so reliant on his right foot. But then you bring Mason into it, and fucking hell, you don't know where that kid's going to go, do you? He's right foot, he's left footed, he's phenomenal. That kid, absolutely phenomenal. Mark says, I've always said Rashford would make a cracking number 10. He holds the ball up so well and spreads it with real quality. Obviously, Bruno keeps the spot, but I think Rashford could do the job. As a number 10, Mark. Well, Casper says it's nice to see Martial happy again. He looked unhappy for so long. And yeah, do you know what? I think that's, you got to give credit there to Ollie. He came in, what was it, November time? A bit of a mess. You know, the dressing room was down because, yeah, bounce. About time you was here. I ain't seen you for a couple of days. George Carl says, need Arsenal to actually do some work. I doubt it, mate. I doubt it. Harty says, front three is perfect. They can change left, right, and centre. That's one of the best things about it, Hart, for me. They can change. They can interchange between them. And they all look so comfortable, no matter where, you know, whether it's right, left, or through the middle. You know, it gives defenders a nightmare, to be honest. Bounce says, best ITW. Right. I'm going to be a bit stupid here because Bounce, mate, what does ITW mean? Not got a clue. Anyone can show me, tell me. Who do you think should be nominated for Ballon d'Or this season as United player? Mate, I think there's only one player you can do. I think that's Mason. I really do. I think the guy is, again, I can't say it enough. There's such a young age. Anyone who's old enough to remember when Rooney burst onto the scene, I think he's on the way to being like that. You know, some people might say he's surpassed, you know, that sort of expectation. But for me, when Ollie said he's so comfortable finishing, I thought, yeah, you know, it's just a manager bigging up his players. But seeing them finishes today, I mean, the first one, just fucking, he belted it in. You know, it was that hard. Ramsdale just couldn't keep it out. And the second one, like I said, I thought he was running down a blind alley. And, you know, right foot into the net, it goes. Who would be your two centre-backs for the next match? Oh, that's from Pandy. Oh, I don't know, because I sort of agree with George about keeping it the same. But I do worry about the injury situation. So I would probably stick with the same two, but I'm worried because he's took Lindelof off now. I throw willies. Right. Okay. Can't wait for Greenwood to do a bicycle goal. Heart, that'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? That'd be absolutely fantastic. But right, we've done nearly half an hour, so hope you all enjoyed it. And get that Popsy fly out there. Sorry if I've got anything names wrong or I've not read out everyone's comment. I'll try to read out as much as I can. Appreciate everyone who's watched. Hope you're all enjoying it, and hope you're liking and sharing and subscribing and that, because we're as Rodney said earlier, we're making waves now. So just want to thanks to everyone who joins. Thanks to everyone who interacts. I hope we all do a good job, and speak to you all tomorrow, because yes, tomorrow we're live tomorrow at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Going to be an interesting show, so make sure you stay tuned for that one. Okay, so have a good night and see you all soon.